a little girl goes missing from her bed while her mother scrawls a threatening letter. Where did she go?
With no evidence, who is to blame for her abduction? Mulder takes an emotional case that will test his resolve.
This is not happening.
Does it ever test his resolve, Andrew? Oh boy.
Well, he has to learn German for one thing. It's a whole sequence in the episode where, we see him. It's a really interesting montage, a time passes montage. He's in a classroom.
A lot of
textbooks.
Fingers tracing over texts.
That's right. A lot of
question marks fading in and out.
Scribbles on the margins, little ... dots, circling of words, conjugating, speaking with a German partner, falling in love, sharing stories.
Absolutely. All to the tune of I'm a Real American by Hulk Hogan. Or, not by Hulk Hogan, but his theme.
He didn't come out with that song himself, the Hulk Hogan
He
version.
He did not.
That would be kind of fun to see, though, wouldn't it?
I am a real American, brother.
So, this is a series of episodes, another two-parter.
Another two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
And this begins, ladies and gentlemen. Sein Und Zeit begins the end of Samantha's story.
And it's been dogging them for a long time to have this particular storyline because they never quite nailed it in terms of discussing or describing what has happened to Samantha. They've come up with some interesting little side stories, but they have never put the Samantha storyline to bed properly, which is where we're going to go with this two-parter.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be great.
Now,
I have no problems at all with this series of episodes.
I don't suspect you will. I think you're going to turn on your normal way of looking at episodes and just accept it for what it is.
They're going to be tears coming down my face. It is just going to be an emotional roller coaster as I ride it with David Duchovny's performance. It's going to be wonderful.
Absolutely. And one thing to note, Samantha's involvement here is very minimal outside of what Scully accuses Mulder of being too close to the case.
Oh, yeah. It's the invocation of Samantha in this episode. She's not a feature of the episode, other than when Mulder's mother dies. Then we get into this whole thing of, she must have a message. There must be a reason.
It's an emotional moment, but we'll get to it. Andrew.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
What do you say we dive in?
Do we need to talk about JonBenet Ramsey before we talk about this? We
do. JonBenet Ramsey, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this may have been just before or just after Elizabeth Smart. Do you remember that case?
I don't remember that case. It wasn't quite as big as JonBenet.
She went missing. She was kidnapped, and I'm almost positive it was in 2000. Let me just check that real quick.
Well, that would have been a real
2002. 2002. Okay, so this had nothing to do with Elizabeth Smart.
Didn't come out.
Okay, so this is more focused on JonBenet.
Certainly, it's a stepping off point. They ripped it from the headlines to make their own X-Files episode about it. I'm going to save my thoughts for later because they're going to be more entertaining then than now. But hey, Mark Rolston's back. This is great because I like Mark Rolston as an actor.
He is back. He is back. And
I wish he had more to do in this episode, though.
Yeah. I'll come back to that. I'll circle back to that one.
Sure.
All right. Well, what do you say we get started, Andrew?
I think the faster we start, the faster we'll finish.
You know what? Logically, that makes sense. Well, a young Amber Lynn LaPierre prays at her bedside. Now I lay me down to sleep. And for those who may not know, the prayer is prominently featured in the hit Metallica song Enter Sandman on their genre-defining 1991 metal album Metallica, otherwise known as the Black Album. Amber Lynn's parents watch with a smile and interrupt her as she begins listing every family member for God to look out for. Mom scoots her into bed, and Dad locks the window. With a couple smooches, they tuck her in and leave. Mom lingers at the door with a smile. Later on, Dad is watching TV downstairs, engrossed in an action movie. Meanwhile, the mom begins getting ready for bed. As she fluffs the bedding and prepares to get in, she suddenly stops and cocks her head slightly, as if receiving an internal message. In the closet, she grabs paper and sits down at a desk. With a red Sharpie, she begins writing a message. Downstairs, the dad hears a slamming door and calls to Billy, his wife. Receiving no response, he gets up and heads to the darkened home to investigate. He checks on his wife, who's sitting at her bedstand writing. Seeing she's okay, he goes to check on Amber Lynn. He sees a little bundle where they had tucked her in, smiles and heads in. He rolls her over, and to his horror, he sees a pale, lifeless body. He gasps, and after a moment, we see her back to normal, sleeping. Meanwhile, Billy continues her note in red marker. From what little we see, it is a threatening letter about Amber Lynn, ending with the sentence, "No one shoots at Santa." Composing himself, Mr. LaPierre leaves the room. A moment later, the door to her room slams and locks. He looks down to see a pool of blood forming under the door. He screams for his wife, who is just sitting at the bed, barely noticing. He slams himself against the door, pictures fall off walls. The door remains locked, and after 5 attempts, it finally gives way. The father bursts into the room. He sees his daughter's bed, empty, a soft impression of where she lay just moments ago. Credits.
Wow. What an opening.
That's an opening.
Can I jump forward to closure a little bit just to draw something in?
Okay. I'm cautious.
Okay, so I haven't thoroughly processed closure yet, but my recollection of the abduction sequence here, like the reason that Amber Lynn is abducted, is essentially it is an altruistic extraterrestrial gesture or supernatural gesture, right? She's being saved from a harsh fate.
Mm-hmm.
And spectral beings are looking out for her. Am I incorrect in that that resolution?
You are correct.
Okay. So is it policy for these supernatural, beneficent, beatific beings or whatever, is it policy for them to conduct this rescue in the most
alarming way possible?
Yeah. Lock the door and pour blood under the door for the parents. And while you're at it, force the mother to write her own abduction note. Is this a joke? What am I not seeing here?
They're really just pissed off at the parents for allowing such an inevitable fate to befall their children that they indict the parents. They
yes.
Leave evidence that would make the parents go to prison for the rest of their lives instead of just search for their children. Yes, It is a little weird that
the fact scenario that is created in this opening sequence that
these
we're going to dissect
magnificent,
later.
Fucking caring, compassionate beings just throw the parents under the bus.
And I don't know. I mean, clearly every family dynamic is different, and there are things we don't get to see behind closed doors and all the rest. Maybe Billy and Bud are horrible parents, horrible people. But to my mind, this little family couldn't be more perfect, starting with Amber Lynn, who is, of course, the cutest child that's ever been created, which means, of course, the moment you see her, you know something awful is going to happen.
Right.
It's too perfectly set up. The X-Files cannot let this child survive the opening sequence.
Absolutely not. It's in the Bible. Cannot.
Yeah.
If you're too nice, you're dead. If you're adorable, you're dead. If you're mean, you're dead. There's a lot of death around this.
Honestly, the safest way through is to be average and nondescript.
And a believer.
And a believer, yes. But even they sometimes get it in the butt. Yep. So
true. Good old Max.
All that to say that I liked the opening when I didn't have more detail to sort of reflect on it. It's creepy. It's interesting. I love the little dig at the Harsh Realm cancellation. That's the show that Mark Rolston is watching. It's Chris Carter's third project.
I love that the dad's like, this is good. or something like that, just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Stuff.
And even when he's interrogated by Mulder later, he's going to say, I was watching
a good
a TV
show.
It was really good. But it was canceled after 3 episodes. I mean, God, if you're Chris Carter, you got to think that he's taking it personally.
That reminds me of an American Dad / Family Guy, and I think the Cleveland show even did something where they all took this weird, obscure dig at the Sons of Tucson, this really ill-fated Fox TV show, and they did it all by doing like those little corner blurbs, those little advertisements while you're watching a different show. Do you ever see those?
Oh, yeah.
Where like Fox will have a little animation or something that promotes another show that's coming up. And they all did it that way. And then the characters would notice the ad and be like, Sons of Tucson, I've never heard of this. That's just good stuff. But similar to that, they poke fun at their own stuff. So,
yeah. Anyway, that's my feel of the opening scene. Liked it in the moment. Gonna hate it later on.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we go now to the FBI headquarters. It is 3:14 a.m. Everyone convenes. Mulder arrives in casual clothes as a task force is in full swing in Skinner's office. The two meet in the hall while people mill about. Mulder wants the case, but Skinner is reluctant. It's a kidnapping, basic FBI work. It's not an X-file. They're trying to rule out all possibilities before statements are made. He can't just give Mulder the case. It has to go to behavioral first and then NCMEC. But Mulder reminds him that they have precious little time before the media goes crazy. Every starstruck attorney will want to represent this family for free, and if someone doesn't ask the right questions now, they may never get asked. Annoyed, Skinner checks his watch, and reluctantly, he gives Mulder till noon to do what he's going to do. Before he dismisses Mulder, he utters some disgust with the behavior of the agents in his office. Apparently, Andrew, they have a pool going, which I must say, makes the FBI look great in a situation like this. Just, how much you want to bet she's dead?
What do you think the pool is actually about, like the manner of death? It's not
either
even
that or
whether she's dead.
It's not whether she's dead. It's like, she's hung.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a very polite pool. Like, how many hours do you think until we're all going to be heroes by finding her? Yeah.
I'm sure that's what it was.
That's probably what the pool is, yeah.
Judging by Skinner's disgust, I'm sure that's what it was.
That's clearly what it was, yeah.
Well, they think she's dead, but Mulder is not convinced. We go now to Sacramento. News vans have descended upon the LaPierre home like vultures circling a fresh corpse. Mulder pulls up and flashes his identification. He heads into the residence, ignoring the media. The LaPierre's lawyer, Harry Bring, greets him at the door, barring him from entering. Mulder calls into question a real estate lawyer's credentials on a murder case, or at least it might as well be a murder case once the facts get out. Bring defends his clients from any accusations, and Mulder tells him if he really wants to help them, get them a real lawyer. The parents, holding each other on the couch behind them, allow Mulder in to talk. They have nothing to hide.
Mr. and Mrs. LaPierre, my name is Fox Mulder. I'm a special agent with the FBI. And I have a lot of experience with crimes like the one that took place here. Now, I know you've made a statement to the police, but I'd like to ask you some questions about that, and I'd like you to answer in as much detail as both you and your lawyer are comfortable with. I want to ask you about the notes you found. Where did you find it?
In my daughter's bedroom.
When?
When I went to check on her.
Do you know what time that was?
9:30, I think. It was right about then. I was watching TV in here.
What were you watching?
I never heard of it before. It was good.
What about you, Mrs. LaPierre?
Yeah, I didn't think it was very good, is what she says.
I was in bed already.
Were you asleep?
Half.
Is that Amber Lynn's bedroom that I saw down the hallway there?
Yes.
Do you always lock your doors at night, even if you're home?
Yes.
You know most of your neighbors, I bet, up and down the street. You're on good terms with them?
Most of them, yes.
Can you think of anyone that might have wanted to hurt Amberlynn?
That's enough questions. They've been very helpful, but I think you can see that these folks have nothing whatsoever to hide.
As the conversation comes to a close, Mulder leaves them with one thing. No matter what the FBI says or does from this point on, remember they are trying their damnedest to find Amberlynn. His words offer little comfort as the two hold each other, tears in their eyes, and as he goes to leave, Mrs. LaPierre asks if they'll find her. Unfortunately, Andrew, his unsure, almost nervous answer of, "I hope so," probably shatters any consolation they may have just received.
I think it is smart of him not to just say, "Oh, I promise we'll find her."
No. I'm not saying he should
Don't
say
make
that.
a promise you don't think you can
Absolutely. I'm with you. It just seemed a little like, I hope so. I'm not sure. Maybe, I hope. Kind of? Maybe?
Listen, that's what they pay me for, but I've got a 22% closure rate, so.
It has dropped
Maybe?
significantly since season 1.
Yeah, our close rate was great until season 3.
Yeah.
Did you catch Mark Rolston saying mostly to the answer of, or to the question of, do you get along with your neighbors?
Yeah.
He's
Pretty
like,
much.
Mostly. So skate right by that, eh?
It's more than I can say. I don't know my neighbors. Nor do I
Whoa,
care to.
that's bad, man. You need to know your neighbors.
Well, I don't mean it in a negative way. It's just the facts, man.
I just don't care about them. I got you.
I didn't say that. I just said I don't. They don't come see me. I don't come see them. I don't know.
What you're saying is you don't know them. You know,
I don't know them.
They could be anybody for all we
They
know.
exist. I've seen them.
And you know they are there.
Just like I exist. They've seen me, I think.
I think they have. I hope
I don't stand out and grill food and go, "Hey, neighbor." Nothing like that.
Well, that's a real shame right there.
Well, that night, Scully pulls into a local motel. Inside, Mulder is fully clothed, lying on the bed watching TV. He's just been thinking about Amberlynn. Skinner's pissed. He waited for a report at noon, and she's been unleashed to go find him. He doesn't have a report. Mulder speaks to her in even more monotone than usual, eyes glued to the muted news report on his TV. They moved on the case because the media got wind of the details. Parents are being held for questioning, and the facts are pointing to their guilt. No break-in, both at home. Mulder adds, they lied about where they found the note. That's what he's been thinking about. And despite what Scully thinks, Mulder corrects her on Amber's condition. She's not dead. Mulder's phone rings. It's his mother. She's been watching the news and suspects he's out there. She asks him to come see her when he gets back, and the conversation ends. We see her holding an old photo frame of Fox and Samantha standing by a tree.
I would like to point out this is probably the nicest interaction we've ever seen
One of
them
them.
have together.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
Hey, Fox,
if she's
how's it
not
going?
slapping him, she's walking away in a huff. But he's actually surprised that she called. And when they hang up, it's nice, question mark?
I haven't seen you since episode 1 or 2.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm a little surprised they decided to write Mulder this way. I mean, clearly he's moved by the facts of what's happening in the case, but for him to lobby so hard to get on the case, Skinner gives him a job, wants a report, and then Mulder just completely drops the ball.
Right.
I'm a little surprised at that.
It is a
decision.
little slap in the face. Like, I
I
think
guess
Skinner
it's to
did
make
him
a
a
little
solid.
tension. Yeah, exactly. It's like you wanted in on this, buddy. The least you can do is pull up your weight here. But
I don't know why they had to do that, honestly, because if it's just a way to get Scully out there, I don't believe that she couldn't be involved any other way.
100%. I don't get it either. I mean, I think they kind of want to create a little bit of tension between Skinner and Mulder, but I mean, the minute Mulder's mom dies, it's like, oh, well, all that tension's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It goes nowhere, but whatever.
You can't be mean to me now. I just lost my mother.
Right.
So.
Back at the FBI, Skinner's addressing a room full of agents. Mrs. LaPierre's note projects onto the screen at the front of the room. Mulder and Scully enter. The note was written on a type of material used to protect laundered garments and fits exactly the remaining material found in the garbage. The ink is that of the marker in the home as well, and the prints on the note match Billy LaPierre. Mulder asks if it's her writing, but the bleeding makes it indistinct. Another agent brings up another slide. There's been an attempt to disguise the writing. The dominant letters like S match those of samples from her checkbook. It's a connection, not an indictment, though. Mulder is unconvinced. Bud, the father, had gotten up to go to bed after watching TV, but the report was that the TV was still on when the officers arrived. They both had put her to bed and had been no more than 20 feet from the room the entire time. They know their neighbors. No one saw a stranger in the area enter a locked and lighted home. The husband is lying for his wife. It does not explain what happened, though.
It's an interesting little scene they've got going here.
Yeah.
What I like in this moment, and look at me liking something about the episode, Mike.
Uh-oh.
Do I need to just underline that so that you can be there with me?
Medicine, get you back to fighting stance.
What I like about this is they describe what the LaPierres did, and we can fill in the blanks with what must have happened after the opening credit sequence. Because for the same reason as Mrs. Tenkate we're going to find later, they realize nobody is going to believe the scenario that actually happened. Our kid just disappeared after the door magically locked, blood came through the floor. My wife psychically wrote a kidnapping wrote she has no memory of doing, and our kid's gone. Like, that story does not check out. So they created their own fact scenario that explains it. Not well, but it's the story they're going to stick to because, frankly, that's the only way they stay out of jail. And it's this horrible situation where they can be culpable and not culpable at the same time. Like they really are between a rock and a hard place. And that is a terrifying place to be. Mrs. Tenkate later on is going to show it a little better. But I do like what they are trying to get at. And I almost like they're not hammering home on it. We don't see the scene of the LaPierres having to conjure up this scene. You know, it is just explained to us by the FBI in this moment. And it's cool. I like that stress that the LaPierres are obviously under. And I think they perform that well. So that is the positive I'm going to give this episode so far.
Well, and it, like you say, it is a very tough situation to find yourself in because no one is going to believe that she just disappeared. So they have to work it as best they can so that they stay out of prison. So it is a terrifying place to put yourself or find yourself, I can imagine. So yes, they did do that very well. Down in his office, Mulder shuffles through cabinet files. There's something in the note he's seen before. As Scully comes in, she accuses him of personalizing the case because of his sister. But Mulder corrects her. His sister was taken by aliens. He hasn't said anything about aliens. She's upset. He told a room full of agents they were wrong. But they are. He pulls a file. Pocatello, Idaho, 1987. He shows Scully a copy of a handwritten note tied to that case. The last sentence reads, "No one shoots at Santa Claus." Oh my God, Andrew. Another letter.
I wish they ever explained the origin of that phrase. I mean, they don't need to draw it out, but they just drop it like, I guess the point is that it is, it's not common as a phrase. So it does stick out as obvious, but it's from 1936. You know, it's where that thing first hits pop culture. And Mulder would certainly know that and be able to explain its significance to us.
Well, we get a short little scene here, a little scenelet, Andrew.
A scenelet.
In a car, we see hands holding a video camera. It's pointed at a playground as the man tapes children playing. A Santa Claus ornament hangs from his rearview mirror, and a deep sting from Mark Snow's music tells us he is no good. As if we couldn't tell by what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not innocent, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. It's not his child playing. It's not a birthday party. It is icky poo-poo.
Hey, we don't know that. I think it could be his kids.
You're right. You're right. It could be innocent.
I mean, the music sting tells us everything we need to know, but honestly, there's a lot of assuming going on here.
That's true. That's true. We go now to the Idaho Women's State Prison. The agents are escorted to a cell of a Kathy Tenkate. She's a meek, slender, middle-aged woman with short brown hair and a soft voice. They have a few questions after reviewing her case. Her 6-year-old son was taken from his bed as he slept, a note found threatening his life. It was written by her. She was sentenced to 12 years. Son is still unfound. She claims to have had a vision of him dead, and when she got up to check on him, he was gone. And 3 years ago, after 7 years of incarceration, and this is the year 2000, so if you're doing the math, Andrew.
I'm going to rely on you to do the math.
3 years ago, she recanted and pled guilty. Scully asks why she did it. She was full of rage, she says. Mulder shows her the note. No one shoots at Santa Claus. What does that mean? The lady offers an answer. It means that when someone promises you a gift, like Santa, that no one would do anything for fear of not getting it. He informs her of the current case and the note that was written. Neither note makes a specific demand, and there's no break-in and no body. But Tenkate told them where the body of her son was. It wasn't where she said, and she can't explain it. Mulder presses her. You can explain it, and she snaps back that she can't. You can't because you didn't do anything, he says. You're not guilty of anything but lying to the police. You didn't kill your son or bury him, just like these people didn't. You changed your story to get out of here. The parole board would buy a story of a psychotic break, but they would never let a woman out of jail who claimed her son just disappeared. The LaPierres need someone to tell them it's okay. They need your help. Without gaining any momentum, the agents leave and Scully chastises Mulder, citing his irresponsible behavior towards her. She maintains that he's internalizing this case, but he asks her to explain how 2 notes so far apart could contain such an obscure phrase. He steels himself and tells her he is going to solve this case. Don't go looking for something you don't want to find, she warns.
That's funny. I have that note as well. Interesting that she specifically says that at this point.
She was reading your notes, Andrew.
She was, literally, from the future, or past. From the past, she saw into the future, read my notes. I guess it's the screenwriter. So Frank Spotnitz psychically knew. But yet, I only wrote it down because I saw it in the show. Oh, it's hurt in my head. Anyway, go on.
Well, back in her cell a little while later, Tenkate whimpers in her cot. When she looks up from her pillow, she sees a young boy, her son, a ghostly white image in front of her. A moment later, it's just her cell, empty. She gets up and calls for the guard to bring the agents back. She needs to talk. Oh, boy. We get another short scenelet, Andrew.
Yes.
Another
Is this a bad guy
disgusting-
again?
Yeah. The camera slowly curls around as Mulder's voice sounds. It's his answering machine. We see his mother holding the picture again, out of the frame. She's leaving a message. There's so much left unsaid for reasons she hopes he will understand. She drops the photo into a burning trash can.
Okay, now is where the episode has officially lost me. It took me and flushed me into the toilet. It was a very unkind thing it did. I really dislike this writing decision to have Mrs. Mulder kill herself. And more importantly, to do it in a way which is going to create a puzzle for Mulder to solve. I don't buy it. How on earth is he going to understand it if she doesn't explain it? Like her saying, so much I've left unsaid for reasons I hope one day you'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is she so deluded a character that she thinks that dropping this bomb on him and then taking the secret to her grave is a better choice than just
absolutely
taking the secret to her grave and letting him fight on to try and find his sister. I don't understand it, and I don't understand the decision to make the character go.
It is the ultimate antagonistic relationship, right? She's going to go to her grave knowing that this is the one answer he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of fighting like they do, she's going to off herself.
Yeah.
She's going to dangle it in front of him. And then, because he didn't call her back, she's just going to take her life.
This is the ultimate "you didn't call me back" penalty box.
Fuck you.
Yeah, this'll teach you for not calling your mother. I would be okay with this if the episodes where we've seen her before, their relationship is antagonistic. And frankly, that would be a more interesting relationship to have.
Mm-hmm.
But all we ever see in terms of his relationship with his parents is one of guilt on his end and then occasionally needing to string out answers, which he will never get from his mother. So
right.
It makes no sense to me for her to go this way, like for them to write her to go this way.
Yeah.
And it just comes off as very, very harsh and mean-spirited.
The whole family is just extremely narcissistic and selfish.
Apparently.
And from dad to mom to son, this is what they do.
I would have liked it better if she just died without the buildup. I'm sorry your mom had a heart attack. She had another stroke and she's gone. And she is set up to take the secret to her grave, but it's an easier setup for the mystery.
Yeah.
I know that they want to have some, like, he thinks it's a conspiracy and he needs Scully to do an autopsy and he needs, to really bang the table and say that she wouldn't have done this to herself. And then ultimately
we are getting ahead of
ourselves.
ourselves.
Got to deal with the fact that she did, but it just doesn't ring true for me. It just feels wrong.
I predict, and there's no way of knowing I'm correct, but I'm pretty certain I am. I predict if she had a heart attack, you'd be here going, well, isn't that convenient? They had no better way of writing her out of the story and not getting Mulder an answer than a heart attack. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call parallel universe. And,
parallel universe corner right here. I would have been okay if, you know what was missing? I'll tell you what was missing right here.
What's that? She
does write down the answer. She writes him a letter. This is her suicide note. And she's in the room and we have a scene where she's dead on the table and cigarette smoking man walks in and he finds the letter and he burns it up.
No. Ooh. A little spookiness.
All right. I think that would have been better, right? Then we have a bit more.
But it undoes what he does in the next episode.
I know, but it's a bad episode too. Okay, all right.
Whoa. I'm ready. All right. Well, it's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. What I think is an interrogation room, I'm not sure. It might be the lawyer's office or somewhere.
Could be.
They are there with their lawyer, and as Mulder comes in, he has something for them to see. It's a videotape. He loads it into the VCR and turns the television on wheels towards the room so everyone can see. It's Mrs. Tenkate.
I believe you share a secret.
I'm doing this because I feel that it's the right thing to do and because I know what you're going through. And I wouldn't want to happen to you what happened to me. I just want to tell you that your little girl is okay. And I know you're afraid of the truth because I saw things that I was afraid of too. I can't explain all of it except to say that I don't remember ever thinking those words that I wrote, let alone writing them. It was like they wrote themselves using my hand. But what I know for sure, because I feel it in my heart, is that my son is safe and protected and in a better place.
Rumors and suspicions.
Classic Mark's no strings at the end there.
I will say the parents are doing a good job of being sad and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing to portray, but that's really all they do. I believe it. I believe, especially the mom. She's doing a great job there.
Sad parents are sad. I agree.
Sad parents. We go now to an unknown location. The room is cluttered. Camera circles around, showing a news report about the LaPierres and several other monitors with videos of children playing on each of them. Different videos. One of them shows Amber Lynn. A man comes in, his gut leading the way, as he walks to the monitor showing the news report. Mulder's giving a statement. The FBI case will continue, but will no longer focus on the LaPierres. They will be intensifying their search and hope for her safe return. In a clever cut, the camera pulls into the monitor and out again, circling back to Mulder and Skinner in his office. Skinner turns off the TV and begins grilling Mulder. Mulder's confident these are related, these two cases. There's material connection between them. The only thing Mulder has given the suspects is the Twinkie defense, Skinner says. His anger is palpable. But before the argument can continue, Scully interrupts. When Skinner dismisses her until they're finished, she says it can't wait. Mulder, your mother is dead. And Andrew has a problem. Blah. We go
No. I am fully fine with Scully's horrible bedside manner. Where's the slow couching, Mulder? I don't. You need to be sitting down for this. Are you sitting down?
They only have so much time.
That's true.
He's obviously sitting down. She can see that.
He's about to get fired, basically, because here's the guy who begged onto the case, didn't do his assigned homework, didn't really help the task force. He's kind of shat on the task force at every opportunity.
Now he's speaking for the FBI.
And now he's doing a press conference, probably without clearance. I'd be surprised if he wasn't on vacation right now. It's
right.
What are you doing?
I have decided for the FBI, I am the spokesperson, that we will no longer we're clearing the LaPierres. They are no longer suspects in this case, despite evidence pointing to them directly.
Yeah.
We're good.
But I know different.
I've deemed them innocent. Well,
so I did like the camera cut too. The as you put it, the clever cut on the TV. I thought that was good. It was one of the episode's high points for me.
The cut. That's
the
awesome.
Cut. Excellent editing. Gets an Emmy Award for editing. Script for me, not so much, but
all right.
Yeah.
Well, the agents arrive to Mama Mulder's house. It's full of police. Mulder makes his way to the living room. Scully herself looks around. She watches Mulder, who takes in the scene, a dazed look on his face. One of the officers shows Mulder a pill bottle, suggesting her form of suicide. Scully sees the door with masking tape around the edges and the stove. They're pointing to the stove. So it's a whole bunch of stuff, Andrew. She double killed herself.
She was not taking any chances.
Yeah, she started the stove and sealed off seeping exits for the gas, and then took a handful of pills.
In the Naked Gun version of this scene, they find the pill bottle. Yep. They look at the open stove and the sealed up under the door. And then they pan over to the kitchen table where her brains splattered against the other side of the room, and there's a shotgun on the table.
Oh man, that is so true. I just went through those like a month or two ago. I woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to do these back to back. And I did. It was a good time.
I bet it was a good time.
Fucking love those movies.
Rule of threes, always funny.
She continues on to see Mulder in Tina's room. He comes out with diazepam. She used them to sleep. She called wanting to talk, but he never called her back. And his words begin to escape him as he stammers. Why would she do this? Why are these photos gone? As fast as the questions come up, he can't keep up with them and takes a deep breath. He sits on her bed and closes his eyes. She saw me on the news about Amber Lynn. She wanted to tell him something about him, about her. She didn't want to do it over the phone because, he gets more certain and direct, she was afraid they would do something like this to her, whoever took his sister. This place looks staged, she says. The pills, the oven, the tape, it's all too convenient. And then he diverts into what Scully should look for, needle punctures in the autopsy. She quickly declines, don't ask me to do that. Not on her. If she doesn't do it, though, he may never know the truth. The key words that she didn't want to hear is the truth. So now she's got to do it, Andrew. Now she's got to do it.
Now we have an autopsy scene where Scully is pulling intestines out of Tina Mulder's gut cavity.
Yeah. That would
Actually,
be awkward.
Cut to the autopsy from Bad Blood.
Yeah.
The intestines fall out and
Just
splatter on the floor.
recut the episode.
I think
That is a good idea.
This could be much more fun of an episode to watch.
Well, back in prison, Mulder is again escorted to Kathy Tenkate's cell. He tells her she's seen things that he needs to understand. Ominously, she states that something has happened to him, and he agrees that his mother has just died. And she knows why. He's asking for her help. His sister was taken when she was 8. He doesn't know where she was taken. And then she says, your mother knew, didn't she? She'd seen them, the walk-ins, old souls looking for new homes. His sister is among them. She can see them, although it's difficult. They live in starlight. They took your sister to protect her soul from the great harm she would have suffered. Kathy doesn't know where they're taken, but they're okay. And she's sure his sister is there. So we're getting an answer, Andrew. What do you think?
Okay, at which point I need you to back up and explain it to me, because I literally I was watching. I was paying attention when she said all that, and I immediately looked at the screen, paused, and said, what? First of all, I'd like to point out, happy coincidence that this is the second time the show has brought up the term walk-ins, and it's also the second time Mark Rolston starred in the episode.
I was just going to say that.
You're just going to get to that. Well, I'm sorry to steal your thunder. Please elucidate.
You always do, man. You always manage to steal it. No, I was going to say that, yes, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that is very much what they were planning to do. Well, not planning. I think when they decided this was how Samantha was going to be taken, they knew that Red Museum was the last time we heard about this. And Mark Ralston was there. So I think they kind of wanted to nod to that episode 5 years ago. That's just my guess.
What a great episode that was.
Fantastic. So the real question is, which episode's worse?
Don't make me choose. It's okay. So this is the other side of the walk-ins movement. I mean, they're the eighth alien species, I guess, or entity in the show.
Yeah.
But so Mark Rolston in Red Museum was the beneficiary of a walk-in. Like he was an old soul that had the soul entered into his body. Is the suggestion I'm getting?
I guess. I honestly don't know.
And those souls are plucked out of adorable little children in the most violent and criminal way possible from Starlight.
Look, they just need bodies to live a different life and save the children. So it doesn't matter how they go about it. They're just going to do it.
It's for the benefit of the entire human species. If the
How
parents
dare
have
you,
to...
how dare you question them, sir?
How dare you question Starlight?
They're doing something so normal. No,
If
so
the
noble.
parents have to do 25 years hard labor, that's on them. But really,
Right?
yeah.
Bastard.
Okay. Well, it's all clear to me now, and this episode is a lot better. Thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome. Our car pulls up to Santa's North Pole Village. A family gets out to the playground. Inside one of the buildings enters a fat man. Christmas decorations adorn the walls and ceiling as he crosses the room. He unlocks the door at the far end, and as he enters the next room, we see the monitors of children once more. He begins disrobing and picks up a Santa costume to change into. This is starting to take shape, and it's disgusting.
Nobody shoots at Santa.
In Mulder's apartment, he sits dissecting his mother's final message to him on his machine. Scully knocks and he welcomes her in. Immediately, he plays the message for her. There was something she needed to tell him. She knew. The case is about a young girl missing without explanation, no evidence, and in defiance of logical explanation. She knew because of what he's believed. The parents of these kids have had visions. They describe them through notes. Old souls protecting children. He guesses that his mother must have written a note herself when Samantha went missing. He comes to a revelation. It never happened. The visions he's had all his life are just ways for him to cope. He's been looking in the wrong place. That's what she was trying to warn him about. That's why they killed his mom. Unceremoniously, Scully says, "Your mother killed herself. She did the autopsy. She was dying of an incurable disease, a disfiguring disease. Paget's carcinoma. She didn't want to live anymore." There's a moment of silence as they stare at each other. The information washes over Mulder as it begins to boil over. He closes his eyes and places his fingertips on the side of his head as if he's meditating. And without warning, he grabs his computer desk and begins angrily shaking it. She tries to be there for her partner. He defiantly says that she was trying to tell him something. But before he can continue protesting, he slowly collapses back into his chair, crying and whimpering. She kneels down and comforts him. She was trying to tell him to stop. Stop looking for your sister. She was trying to take away your pain. Scully takes Mulder into her arms and caresses the back of his head as she hugs him. He holds on to her desperately. Oh, it's such a sweet scene, Andrew.
It's a sweet scene. I think it's a bit of a reach for Scully to say your mom was trying to take away your pain. Again, my read, no, your mom was a jerk. She was going to just drop this nugget on you and then give you no way of understanding.
Yeah.
I don't buy the explanation other than, this wasn't a conspiracy.
I think they're both wrong. I think they're both wrong. I don't think Tina Mulder saw the walk-ins. I don't believe that. I think she was going to tell him what happened with the syndicate and his mom, or excuse me, his dad, and what happened to Samantha. I don't think she knew that Samantha was dead or that she saw the ghost. I'm not saying that didn't happen later on, but I'm saying that was not, I think they're both wrong in this instance. Scully is trying to steer Mulder into the, stop looking for Samantha. And Mulder believes it has to be a conspiracy.
Well, that is on brand for him, and I'm okay with that. But I just think that it's a sloppy writing choice to take Tina Mulder out like this. I understand what they're trying to do with the fallout of that decision, but I just don't understand why now she is deciding she's going to tell Mulder, some form of truth. Like, there's so much I haven't told you for reasons I hope you'll understand. I'm so ticked off at that line because if you're going to tell somebody something, you tell them. And certainly you don't kill yourself before you get the opportunity if it's that important. Like, by doing that, she's basically confirming to us that Mulder didn't really mean anything to her. But
it's on brand for the show because it's just like Mulder taking a ride up to Canada with a guy who knows all the answers but tells him nothing.
Yeah, fair. I guess my problem in this moment is it is typical for the show to make this sloppy decision to have characters sacrifice themselves for no great reason. And I'm going back to Barquist from Alpha for this. Like, literally decides my character is done living and it's time for me to die in a dramatic way. For no reason. And this is the same thing for Tina Mulder. They just wanted to write her out of the series. They wanted to finish this arc, and they gave us a dramatic way to get Tina Mulder out. But I just don't buy it. Like, there's 20 other ways you could have done it, which would have made it more interesting. To me, I suppose. Maybe I'm being hard on it. It's the role I seem to take on. But it just really left a sour taste in my mouth when I saw that.
Fair enough. I'm with you. All right. At the LaPierre residence, Bud gets ready for bed and gets in. He holds his wife, who stares out the window. Suddenly, she gasps. Amber Lynn appears to her, a pale, ghostly white figure floating before her. The next morning, Scully answers Mulder's door, having spent the night. Skinner tells her that Billy is asking for Mulder. Skinner has already booked flights for them. Oh boy. At the LaPierre residence, Bud wakes his wife and the agents come in. Mulder asks what happened.
Standing right there. I swear to God, she was right over there. In the pajamas her grandma gave her. Saying something to me.
What was she saying?
I don't know. Her lips were moving, but I couldn't hear. I thought she was saying 74.
74, the number 74? Does that mean anything to you? Does 74 mean anything to you, Mr. LaPierre?
Outside, Skinner waits for the agents, and when they come out, Mulder suggests they go home. What they're hearing is the delusional talk of people who can't accept what's happened. You can't see a ghost and still hope to find her alive. Both things can't be true. If her spirit appeared to her mom, then it must be true. Mulder continues. He's realized he's way too close to this case at this point and requests Skinner let him off of it. He's going to be taking some time off. On their way back, the agents and the AD drive down the highway. Mulder sits quietly. Scully notices a sign pointing north and quickly grabs a map. Her finger traces Highway 74 to a location, Santa's North Pole Village. She pieces it together and asks Skinner to turn around. We cut to the vehicle pulling up to the village. It's been closed for the day. Mulder leads the way as they all investigate. Clearly, he's determined by this information. They enter the main hall with all the decorations and Santa's throne, I guess. And it's kind of disgusting, but he's got a little wooden throne there.
Hey, with better lighting, this is a delightful place to bring your kids on the weekend.
I suppose, but we all know that's not it.
In the gloomy dusk, it is pretty revolting, but, you know.
Yeah. They cross to the back door and open it to find the monitors and a library of home videos. Mulder begins surmising what they're about to find, and this is why his mom was trying to spare him. Scully pops in a tape, and sure enough, Amber Lynn is displayed playing. It's dated 2 days before her disappearance. Mulder sees one of the monitors and notices the fat man. When he turns, the man immediately slams the door on them and bolts. Outside, Skinner is looking around and sees the man running. He begins giving chase. The man runs through another building. Skinner closes in on him, and as they emerge into a field of dead leaves, he's had enough, and Skinner yells for him to stop, firing his gun into the air. Scully, catching up, cuffs him and begins reading him his rights. Her voice fades into the background as Mulder steps forward into the field and looks around. A sick look on his face, he calls to his partner. Without words, he communicates to her that they're standing somewhere important. She looks around the field to see small mounds littering the area. The camera ascends into the trees and we fade out. To be continued.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
All right. So I have a question.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Is it, do you see it likely that Scully is the one to make the mental leap for Highway 74 and Santa's Village or whatever? Like, it's a hell of a leap.
I guess. She saw the sign, so it's not like she just was thinking.
She saw the sign, but then she immediately went, oh, 74, that's what that apparition that Billy Lapierre seems to say she's seen, so I guess I'm putting some stock in it. You know what? I wanted to see this Santa's Village place for a little while, so why don't we go there just in case?
It's not that big of a leap to me. Not because I want this episode to be good, but because I think she truly, obviously, there's still a case going on. So she truly wants to solve it. So I think at this point, we're 40 minutes into a 45-minute episode. She's seen enough or heard enough to have some things seep into her brain. So if she sees a sign that says 74 and she was just told, or Mulder was just told about the 74 from the apparition or whatever, then I buy that she's like, huh, that's interesting.
Listen, I buy that she's smart enough to put pieces of evidence together, but
and that's really all I think it is.
But it's not evidence. I don't think she believed that the apparition of Amber Lynn actually appeared to
exactly.
Billy
I don't
Lapierre.
think she believes that either, but it's worth checking out, right?
It's worth checking out. I know they need to have it happen so that we can get to this climax point. My problem is that we're not into closure for 10 minutes before the psychic shows up and she's immediately like, this guy is full of shit. Mulder, you can't listen to him. Let's get out of here. But she's the one that is going to, on the strength of the ghost of Amber Lynn appearing to Billy Lapierre, say, you know what, we should divert from the airport and go down 74 to Santa's Village on the off chance that maybe this is what that ghost of a kid was talking about.
And
my problem is her inconsistency in that they write her one way and then they write her another way and then they write her again, depending on what they need, Well,
see, this is just believable for her. When a psychic comes, that's too much. She can't be bothered with that. She's like, all right,
indeed.
Ghosts of children, I don't know.
Well, I guess she has had experiences with ghosts of children, so that might resonate.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Your Honor, I withdraw my objection.
I'm not asking you to withdraw anything. As you may have guessed, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to be supplying final thoughts until we finish the two-parter. So I hate to make you wait, but I'm not going to be, saying much here, except that there are a few takeaways here. One, given everything we've talked about, I think it's an okay setup for the second part. Now, how that all plays out, we will see. Where is this going? This guy's a perv. It's a little confusing, but overall, I think it makes sense. Now, the motives of the walk-ins is suspect, but
to put it lightly, okay.
To put it lightly, how they go about things, that's up for debate. But when it comes to suffering children,
let's incarcerate the parents in
yes.
the most obscene way possible.
When it comes to saving children from ill fates, which is commendable, they will leave no stone unturned and no parent will be free from this. So
literally,
that's what you can take from this. And the last thing is apparently Drake survived aliens and made it off LV-426 to become a dad and start a family.
He barely made it out of there. He got back home, started a family, and look what happens to him. I mean, he
got a skin graft for his face because he was sprayed with acid.
So, he was.
Yeah.
He got into the other APC we don't hear about.
We don't hear about it.
They didn't. It was in the director's cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
No, I could see him escaping. I'd buy that movie.
I would too.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add here. I've certainly laid my feelings pretty bare on this episode, which is so unlike me.
You even brought in the next episode.
I even expanded my vitriol into the second episode, which we haven't even talked about. But I think it is worth talking about it at this point. It's hard to not look at these episodes as joined at the hip.
Right.
Yeah, I wish they did things differently. They have made some choices here, which very much in my mind contradict the setups we've had for these characters so far. Like, I would expect this behavior from Margaret Scully. I wouldn't expect it so much from Tina Mulder.
Yeah.
Like, given how much we dislike Margaret Scully. But
they should have gone that route.
Yeah. Would have made more sense to have Scully's sister be a returning ghost. But we've already finished.
We've already done that. That plot's over, sir.
Yeah. Well, I know you've got a soft spot for the ending of Closure, so I won't rain on your parade there.
There's no parade. I'm fine. It's okay.
Your little ghost kid parade.
I'll make it. Well, in the vein of ending the show like we always do, Andrew, I will give you the final words. So please, if you have any closing thoughts, please share them.
Just some words of advice for parents. If you're, living your life, raising your kids, and you decide, I don't even know where I'm going with this, really. It's just about be nice to your kids, apparently, because if something bad happens, you might find yourself accidentally writing kidnap notes and having your kids disappear, their blood seeping under doors for no apparent reason. So just do your best, I guess. You never know.
It's so confusing.
It's so confusing.
It's so confusing.
Great.
The inevitable question about the walk-ins. And I haven't done any research into if this is a phenomenon that people believe or if this is X-Files hooey. Why not kill the guy who's doing what he's doing and save the children that way? Like, I don't understand.
Isn't that something that I would come up with?
Well, it is, but you can't help but think it. Like, it's okay. So what's worse? You're allowing these kids to suffer obviously disgusting things, or save them by taking them away. Which that sounds nice, but the parents go down for it, and the guy may or may not get caught, and continues to do it to other children. It's like, what?
It's such a convoluted setup that really doesn't evoke justice or karma. I mean, it's very tied to doing it for the kids. The kids are in a better place now or whatever. Fine. But it happens in such a horrific way. Like, dad walks in and his child's dead in his arms and he's shaken by that. And then the mother is coerced into writing this ransom note or kidnap note or whatever. And then the kid, the blood oozing through the door. I mean, the whole thing is just so creepy. How can that be anything good? I don't get it.
Right. I think the next episode is let's hunt down these walk-ins and hold them accountable for some of their actions.
So let's bring them to justice in a court of law, like Law and Order style. I think that'd be great.
All right.
All right, there we go. Did it.
We did.
I'm sure all this will be resolved in Closure, which hang in there for a week and you'll hear us again.
Yeah.
Enjoying
we'll see how it all wraps up.
It's going to be, I'm sure I'm going to love it. Sure.
I'm sure you are. All right. We'll see you. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at TINHXFilesPod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.